Hello. Happy Monday. Hi, guys. I hope that you guys have had a good start of the week. Sometimes people have an attitude towards Monday even before it starts. I hope that's not you. Or if you do, I hope it turned out better for you than you expected. Hey, if you guys are serious about growing your business, growing your platform, growing your influence, your personal brand, then I've opened up some spots to talk and connect. So I have some complimentary strategy sessions that are available to you. And I want you to go to speakwithlisahooks.com to get registered for one. I'll send you my calendar and we can get on a call and we can strategize and we can brainstorm about your goals and your vision for 2019. It will be a productive call. So if you need help in your area of business, even your authorship, just really getting some momentum with your influence and your business, then go ahead and check me out and set up a call at speakwithlisahooks.com. And I would love to have a conversation with you and help you. All right, so I'm not gonna be on here long, and I don't want this to be lengthy. I normally like to wait for some people to chime in, but I'm going to go ahead and get started. So, if you're a replay viewer, thank you so much for viewing. All of you who view, I hope that you are gracious enough to share. I feel like this is an important topic and something that everyone can benefit from, especially if you are interested in speaking, if you are an aspiring speaker, an emerging speaker, even an established speaker. I want you to really consider what I'm saying, because there may be areas even for the established speaker that you don't feel comfortable speaking in for pay. So, do you have speak for pay baggage? The reason I'm having this live is because I have had several people, including a couple of my clients, say, I don't feel qualified to speak for pay. Okay, and I can't recall ever feeling that way during my speaking career. What I have felt during my speaking career is that I didn't feel qualified asking for high dollar income. And so I'll talk about that in another live. But here's what I want to say. It's time to drop the baggage of I'm not qualified to speak. Now, most of the people that I've spoke to say they don't feel like they're qualified to speak for pay because they don't feel like they know enough. They don't feel like they're an expert in a field, or they're an expert in anything. And that's what I really want to hone into. Now, it's true that you may be less qualified than someone else, but you have enough life experience. You have enough education. It doesn't matter if you have a college degree or a high school degree, but you have enough education. You have learned something. You have experienced something. You have observed something that you can speak about. I want to give you an example of this particular piece where I was less qualified than speaking, but I was qualified to speak to this particular audience. Back years ago, I was in the area of early child development, and I worked in the military realm of child development. I worked for child development programs. And one of the age groups that I loved was toddlers. And so when I first got started working in the field, I worked in a classroom of toddlers. And so the wonderful thing about the military system is they take you through so much training so that you can do your best with the age group that you've chosen to work with. So I had gone through the training, and I had years of working with these special children. I know many of you are like, oh my God, toddlers, I can't imagine. But that was my favorite age group. And I began to go through the ranks as I was getting my early childhood degree. I began to go through the ranks, and I eventually became a supervisor. But I still worked in the classroom. So I worked part-time out on the floor, and then the other part in the classroom, still working with my toddlers. I was asked to present a class at one of our workshops, a subject at one of our workshops on ages and stages of development for toddlers. Now, here's the thing. The child care program has trainers to do that. These are specialized people in this area to do that. There were people in the center who had their degrees already. They had more education. There were people who had more knowledge and possibly even more experience. But my trainer had observed my interaction in the classroom over time. She also had conversations with me, and she knew that I understood toddlers, and she felt that I was best qualified for this workshop to teach on this subject. And guess what? I taught on it. I was a little nervous because it was, I wasn't real comfortable with the whole public speaking and training type thing, but I was a little nervous about it. But the confidence was that I knew my stuff. I had the experience. I had, regardless of the degree, regardless of the education, I had some training, yes, but I had the experience, and I could give examples. I could take my outline. I could give the technical pieces that I needed to give, but I also had enough experience to share and give a great presentation. And guess what? I did. And people were very pleased. They asked questions. I got, great reviews for it. And my trainer asked me to do more. And so I say all that to say that although there may be people around us that are more qualified or have more education, but it doesn't count you out. You know what you know. And even if it's just a little bit, you can speak from it. Okay? And so what's the next point? This is why it is important to know your audience. When you want to tell your story, when you want to share your voice on a subject, and that subject is very meaningful to you, it's important to you, that's your audience. It's not just the subject matter, but that's the audience that you want to speak to. The people who are having the issues, the problems, the setbacks, people who need encouragement, people who need empowerment in that issue that you feel comfortable with, that you feel like you need to share your voice with. That is also your audience. So when you begin to speak and you begin to speak for pay, you want to find the audience that wants to hear very specifically that issue. Let's see, has anybody? Hi, Paula. Hi, Paprika. Thank you for joining me. So Paula and Paprika, are you trekking with me? Does that make sense to you? Now, Paprika, I know that you have had some speaking opportunities, and you spoke on what you knew as a single mother. And so you had an audience for that. You talked about your triumphs as a single mother. And it's a common subject, actually. And this is my third point. Do not worry about trying to have a unique subject to speak on. Okay? How many of you have heard wonderful teachings on the same thing? I was just listening earlier to a video on faith. Well, oh my gosh, how many teachings, how many podcasts, how many talk shows, how many videos, how many preachers have I heard speak on faith? And I get excited every time. I get built up every time. I get encouraged every time. I gain something every time. But faith is not unique. That's not a unique subject, is it? Yes, so you're trekking with me. Good, good, good. It's not a unique subject, so don't worry about trying to present something that's unique. Present the information that you know. And within that, you want to remember that you're a unique person. So you're going to have a unique perspective. You're going to have different experiences from someone else. You're going to expound and you're going to communicate in a different way than someone else. I mean, my God, there are multiple thousands of public speakers speaking on the same thing. And guess what? They're getting paid to do it. Why? Because they bring a uniqueness to the stage. And even when you feel like you are not well read, or you don't have enough of the information that you need to speak for pay, always remember you can provide resources, right? So that's one of the things that I did early in my speaking career. I spoke to what I knew. I gave them the information. I gave them the examples. But guess what? There was more information to be given. There was a broader spectrum. And so instead of trying to compete in that, I just gave them resources. People love resources, okay? And so, and that's another thing, even with Q&A, that's another thing that I did. You know, I provided enough resources that when I had Q&A, I answered what I could, but then I gave them a resource to further that answer. And so you can do that. You don't need to have all the answers, all right? You give what you know. But here's my point, guys. You know something, you have something that's very valuable that you can speak to. And if it's valuable enough to speak to, if it can encourage someone, if it can empower someone, if it can enlighten someone, if it can help someone, then it's worthy to speak to. And guess what? It's worthy to get paid for it. Okay, many of you probably have spoken for free. I've did it for years, loved it, and I'll talk about that in another live, the benefits of that. But do not hold on to the baggage of I can't speak for pay because I don't know enough. Because the fact of the matter is you do, and there's people looking for you. They need to hear from you, and they're willing to pay you. Okay, so let me just share just a couple of things about the benefits of speaking, because I am having a workshop on March 9th and in Nashville, and I really want you to take advantage of this workshop if you're available. There's only 20 seats available. It's a small gathering, and I want to remind you, some of you know this and some of you don't, but I want to remind you that there is more benefits from speaking from stage, speaking from pay, speaking professionally than just having the opportunity to speak. You can get joint venture partners from speaking. You can get profits for your business from speaking. If you are a coach, a consultant, a counselor, whatever service that you have. You can gain more clients from speaking. You can get more traffic to your website for speaking. You can get more book sales from speaking. As a matter of fact, you can get book contracts from speaking. And you can get referrals within that audience and get more speaking gigs. Okay? There is such a great benefit from public speaking. And so I want you to consider these things, and I want you to join me on March 9th. I'll have the link for you to register. It's just $37, very small amount, but I am going to give you 5 strategies plus more, because I over deliver. Anybody who's been to any of my workshops and conferences, you know that. I'm not going to fire hose you with a lot of information, but I promise you, this will be one of the most valuable workshops you've ever been to. If you are an aspiring and an emerging speaker, get to this workshop. All right. Any questions for me real quick? Let's see. All right, guys. Well, I want to thank you again for tuning in. Replay viewers, hashtag replay. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, please feel free to chime in the comment box. Again, if you need help with your business, your platform, your brand, your ministry, your speaking, get on a call with me. Speak with lisahooks.com. And you guys have a fantastic rest of the week. God bless you guys.